We are, in this segment, hosting Danny Gladstone, who's the CEO of Ainsworth Technology. And first of all, we have to recognize and appreciate, Danny, that Ainsworth is our overall sponsor of our content here at G2E, as well as the sponsor of these CEO one-on-ones. And you know, we've had, these have become an institution. This is the 6th year that we've done CEO one-on-ones. And the people really expect to see them, and it's amazing. I talk to your peers, and every one of them watches every single video that we post. And I've gotten feedback, early feedback on Twitter and those sorts of responses, and it's just phenomenal, the kind of response they get. So thank you for supporting that.
Yeah, well, Frank, you should be congratulated, because if you're generating that much interest, you've done a good job, and your team's done a good job. And I don't know how many years we've been the sponsor, but major sponsor, but I'd like to continue that in the future.
Great, thank you. We'll be glad to do that. Talking about the future, you'll be leaving as CEO of Ainsworth in June.
Yep. But
you say you're not retiring.
No, I'm stepping down. I mean, the people that know me, I spend the best part of 160 days plus overseas every year, and I'm not getting any younger. And the travel is you know, I've had 9 trips to Vegas, from Sydney to Vegas, Sydney to LA this year. So I'm going to step down as the CEO. The position is going to be, they've got headhunters in now to have a look. It'll be a Sydney-based person. I'll see it out. I'll stay in the CEO position till June, as we've said, and then I'm going to work on a position on the board. I'm on the board now, stay on the board, and I'm talking to Harold, who's the CEO of NovaMatic, who you'll talk to later, about things that we can do proactively from the board and to support Ainsworth in the future. So I'm not going to actually retire, but I'm going to certainly be on less planes, which will be a pleasure.
Well, that's good. That's good. I go from Southwest Florida to Las Vegas often enough, and that's not nearly the distance as Sydney.
Southwest?
Normally American.
Oh, American, they're better.
You mentioned NovaMatic,
yep,
which is now officially the majority owner of Ainsworth. They also are maintaining a separate operation, which is NovaMatic Americas. How is this relationship going to work for Ainsworth? Well,
they've got a separate operation, and that's how it's treated. They run their sales, and NovaMatic Americas, they do their thing, and Ainsworth does its own thing in the Americas. And at the moment, there's things that we work together on. We've done a lot of work together on producing product for Europe, and there's no issues there. And at this stage, the direction is as business as usual for all companies. And Harold might have some more comments about that, but it's working. We have there's no wall between our stand. We're on one stand, and their carpet's blue and ours is red, and that's our traditional colours. And but we work together, and I say we're friendly competitors in some places. But I got to say, they are the major shareholders, and they're great shareholders, and it's a good company. They've got Professor Graf's got a terrific history in the industry, and probably the Americans are not exposed to see what a great job he's done in Europe, and how he's contributed to the industry. I've worked with Len, who's been one of the great people who have put in and developed this industry in the gaming slot business, and I think Professor Graf is exactly the same class.
Two legendary figures.
Two, yeah.
Too much. So what's new at Ainsworth this year that people should see?
Well, we got a lot of new product. For the Americas, we're releasing a new cabinet style called the Evo, and it's a very attractive machine. We released it earlier in the year, and in some of our other markets it's been well received. But at the end of the day, the cabinets are the cabinets. We've got to work on the content, and we've got some great content. We've done another edition of Pac-Man with our partners, Namco Bandai, and they're going to, this is a Link product, which is really very, very special. I was in Japan 2 or 3 weeks ago, experienced a typhoon. It was fun, Frank. And this product, I think, is going to be a real X factor to us, and might be able to give us a bit of a push back into the market. But on top of that, there is probably 40 new original games on the stand that are all worth looking at. And I know you guys are going to come around later and have a look, and Cody will give you a showdown. But we have in the last 12 months, we've had a couple of good games come out and worked and get us up in the floor average, and it's been very, very helpful because there's a lot of quality opposition out there.
Right. Is Ainsworth taking any different direction as we move forward?
Well, we've taken some different direction in the last couple of years, and 3 years ago our game development came from one particular spot and was run out of Sydney, and that was it. Now we have a game studio in North America, we have another class 2 game studio, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 independents supplying us content, and the we've got the relationship with Bandai. So we've moved that, but one of the most significant things we've done in the last 12 months, which no one will actually see, is we've done a lot of work on our base software. So when we want to put innovation into our games, it's not the rigorous task of software development that we used to have. And Kieran Powers, who our CTO, has done a great job with that, and all the team and all his team. So we're hoping to be able to produce games faster and with a few more concepts that won't cause us grief. I mean, it is our business that where you get down to, and we're always waiting for the new concept, and it's got to go through process. So this is going to speed up our process, and I'm really excited about that, which is nothing that the rest of the world will see.
Our primary subscriber is the investor.
Yep.
What should investors best understand about Ainsworth?
Well, the trouble for investors to look at a company like Ainsworth is that there is a majority shareholder, so it's not liquid with shares. There's 52.5% with NovaMatic. The Ainsworth family probably still have nearly 10%. We have another major shareholder, and we're exposed, and our exposure's on the in the Australian market, and there's not a lot of gaming companies. I mean, and that we don't have the input that you get here in America, where you've got so many different gaming companies. There's only 2 or 3. There's only us and Aristocrat, Casino, Sky City. So it's a difficult one for international people to judge. So.
But we are becoming more international all the time.
Yep.
Yeah. What other topics would you like to touch on before we wrap up?
Well, I suppose, I think it's good to see the industry's generally very healthy, and it's supporting itself by doing the right thing. I think people outside the industry don't understand how much compliance that the companies go through, the casino operators, and how we try to take care of the community and the customers that we all share. And it's good to see the industry on the front foot and trying to get that message out, and I hope that continues.
Okay, great. Danny, thank you very much. Very informative.
Thanks, Frank. Always a pleasure to be with you.